With new McValue at McDonald's, you always get more than you expect every day. So even if gas prices go up, you can buy a double cheeseburger and add a McChicken for $1. Or before game time, you can get $5 meal deals for the group. And if breakfast is about to end, get deals in the app to save before the bell. The choice is yours, and the choice with McValue is always more.
Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Must opt into rewards for app deals.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. Sometimes the most painful part of getting sick is the getting better part. Waiting on hold for an appointment, sitting in crowded waiting rooms, standing in line at the pharmacy, that's painful. Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy remove those painful parts of getting better with things like 24/7 virtual visits and prescriptions delivered to your door. Thanks to Amazon Pharmacy and Amazon One Medical, healthcare just got less painful.
Now, back to the Larry Kudlow Show.
All right, let's talk some politics with one of my favorites, David Webb, Fox News contributor and host of the David Webb Show, Sirius XM talk show. So, David, I got two beauties for you. One of them is, let me start with the funniest one. Joe Biden just said the ERA passed constitutionally. You just declared it. It's not true. Not enough states did. Some states have retrenched. And the ERA, by the way, inside that bloody thing, it's not that we don't want women to have rights. That's not the issue anymore. But it does have, sort of says, unlimited abortions as a federal legislation. Can he just say the ERA is law? I don't understand that.
No, he can't. But this, again, is Joe Biden and the hardened left committee in the White House that's really in charge of things, trying to stir the pot and leave more landmines in place for Donald Trump. There was a ridiculous article written by Lawrence Tribe and someone else that's been out there and been pushed around, Larry. I read through the article this morning. It's legal gobbledygook. Man, would I love to see a real constitutional attorney like a Jonathan Turley or someone else take it apart. But this is part of the create confusion, create chaos. Joe Biden, to use the term, has been lighting political wildfires all along since he was rejected by the American people. He never really saw Kamala Harris, even though she has also been rejected. It was him, his failed presidency, that he literally lived. He stood there, and Jimmy Carter lived long enough to see somebody worse than him. And frankly, Jimmy Carter cared about the country. His policies may have been horrible, but he was a good human being. Joe Biden is a horrible human being who became president, who's been lying for 5 decades, and now he just has to puffer himself up. And the committee sees this as an opportunity to light wildfires to change America the way they want it.
Yeah, I reckon so. Pretty disappointing. Let's go to TikTok. Supreme Court said TikTok should be sold as per Congress. Mr. Trump says we maybe can make a deal. Maybe Mr. Trump can have an executive order that extends the sale 60 or 90 days. Or maybe it's just one big Chinese spy operation, which is what a lot of smart people think it is. What do you think, David Webb?
Well, your last point is absolutely true. It is one big Chinese spy operation. It's part of collecting the metadata on Americans, and this combines with other things. They have an entire agency, thousands of people dedicated, actually more than one agency, dedicated to this, whether it's telecom hacks, treasury hacks, OPM hacks, as somebody whose SF-86 info was in that hack. All of this and more is about collecting data. And even if you segregate it and take it out, the algorithm, the core algorithm still exists. I think President Trump is negotiating, and if there's a possible way to rip it out and take it away in some form, force of sale, but in the end, anything tied to the Chinese government, period, even 1%, less than 1%, requires compliance with their laws on turning over the data, and it can't be trusted. I think we're seeing a negotiation underway. Look, to be honest, I hate the thing. I don't want it. I don't want people on it. I don't think they understand the danger of it. But if you can tear it away and have a valuable tool for some people in this country, the Chinese are not going to go away. They're going to launch other apps, but maybe you can make some progress. And part of this is the education of the American people about what these social media app platforms are and what the dangers are. There's a use, there's a danger. We need to be better educated on this, and I think that can do more to decide what succeeds and what fails.
Well, Gen X loves TikTok, so a lot more Gen Xers voted for Trump than anybody thought possible. I mean, he did very well with that particular demographic. I think he was surprised. So who 5 years ago, when I was in the government, Mr. Trump wanted to sell it. And it was, flat out Chinese spying operation. Let's get rid of it. We never did. But now he is inviting the ByteDance president, I guess, to the inauguration. Okay, fine. Maybe they're trying to cut a deal. I don't know. You got to sell it. But the Supreme Court has made a ruling here. So I don't know. It seems like wait, let me add one more thing that I love. I am told Gen Xers now may be leaving TikTok because they're afraid it's going to close down, but they're going to this Red Book, which is named after Chairman Mao's Red Book, right? Okay. So this is like jumping, out of the frying pan into the fire. I don't know I'm told by one of my favorite Gen Xers here at the radio station that it's being done deliberately. Okay. They're doing this deliberately, going from TikTok to Red Book. Jumping from the frying pan into the fire. But why don't they go to Twitter X or, the newly constituted Facebook?
Some of them already have. Looking at the data on shifts to X users, especially with the increased platform abilities, you can buy the premium for a few dollars a month, use it as a business tool if that's what you really want to use it for. Or even, let's see, if we have more control of Facebook, going back to it. I'm considering going back to Facebook and using it as a show tool. That will happen. And the jumping from one to the other, the Chinese have a number of social media apps. You look at WeChat, you look at others that they control or have interest in around the world. The communists are never going to give up because they know they'll keep a certain amount. And again, not just about that app. That is only part of the technological matrix that they have, because that fifth dimension of warfare is cyberspace. And for them, this is part of that dimension.
So I don't see who's going to issue this exact. In other words, TikTok closes down when. It's by law and Supreme Court decision, congressional law and Supreme Court decision, when? Tomorrow night at midnight. But Mr. Trump is not sworn in until noon, January 20th, the next day. So I don't understand how this plays out. They close down, or then it reopens. Maybe that's what it is.
I don't see it either. I got to tell you, once in a while, there's one, Larry, I can't figure out.
I can't get it.
And the president does, and you've heard him say this before when you were there in the first term. Congress, do your job. The Supreme Court has issued an order, and whether you like it or not, I think he's playing a public negotiation game. We don't know if there's something else going on behind the scenes. We may see some reaction. The Chinese are sending a high-level official to the inauguration. So I think this is more of a public-facing negotiation, which we've seen the president carry out on tariffs, on all kinds of things before.
Well, we'll see, man. I don't know. Not sure I understand it. I'm not sure I understand these Gen Xers going to Red Book, because that's just a Chinese front group also. And if you want to sell it, sell it. ByteDance says it doesn't want to get sold. It reports to the Chinese Communist Party. Wow. A lot of people, 150 million kids are on it or some crazy thing. David Webb, you're my favorite. Fox News contributor. David Webb Show on Sirius XM, and got to listen to that. All right, folks, we're going to take a break. On the other side, my pal Steve Forbes is going to come on. We're going to talk to Steve for quite a while. I'm Kudlow. Please stick around, folks. Lots more to do.